There's no suggestion in these documents that Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, did anything wrong. It's more the fact that in an interview with the New York Post just months ago, he was adamant that he had no connection to Jeffrey Epstein post 2005. He said in that meeting in 2005, he walked in and saw a massage table in the room and that Jeffrey Epstein made some kind of sexual comment. And after that, he said, "This guy's a creep. I'm not having any more dealings with him." He said, "I had no more personal, business or philanthropic dealings with him post that incident." Well, the trove of documents that were released just a couple of weeks ago by the Department of Justice prove that to be wrong. He had personal, business and philanthropic meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, or at least received emails and sent emails back and forth to Jeffrey Epstein, either directly or through an assistant, all the way up until the late 2010s. So this has been proven now that Howard Lutnick lied during that interview about his connections to Jeffrey Epstein. But of course, the big contact comes in that 2012 meeting on the island, where Howard Lutnick says that he was there with his wife, his children, and their nannies as well. But again, this coming at odds to the testimony that he provided in that interview just a couple of months ago, which means that the calls for him to step down and resign over this are now growing. We've heard from Thomas Massie, who's been the House Republican really pushing the Epstein Transparency Act on the Hill. He has called for him to resign. I have several Democrats now as well, including Senator Adam Schiff.
And they're making it more broad than just simply Jeffrey Epstein now. Lawmakers led by the Senate Minority Leader introducing what they're calling Virginia's Law to lift statute of limitation on sexual predators. Let's take a listen to the brother of the late Virginia Giuffre, who was the first big whistleblower in the Jeffrey Epstein case.
I want to begin with a single word. A word that meant everything to my sister. A word we will not stop fighting for until real justice is served. And that word is change. Virginia's dream was to inspire and empower survivors to come forward. In a world that too often turns away from abuse and pushes it into the shadows, she wanted to bring light. That light is change.
Yeah, Fraser Jackson, Virginia Giuffre, who committed suicide last year.
Yeah, this law is being pushed by the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer. He's named it, of course, Virginia's Law in honor of Virginia Giuffre, who was the first person to come forward to talk publicly about this sexual assault that was happening at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and on. But Giuffre's law seeks ultimately to raise the statute of limitations on sexual assault. That effectively is the time period that somebody has to bring charges against somebody once they've been a victim of a crime. It's a bit of a mixed bag at the moment as to what the statute of limitations for sexual assault is across the United States. The federal law says that there's no statute if it involves sexual assault of a child, which of course many of the people alleged to have been victims of Jeffrey Epstein were believed to be under the age of 18. But the law would basically make it a federal law that there will be no statute, that anybody can bring charges against somebody else at any time, which would significantly increase the amount of people that could potentially come forward. Some states at the moment have limits of 5 or 6 years after an assault. So that could significantly improve the chances of victims coming forward to report these kind of crimes.